So let's go ahead and I also want to say I'll come back to this as a reminder, but we're going to have prep for the final next week. I don't think I turned this on actually. We're going to prep for the final next week, so that means that I'm going to give you a grade for you have to come and annotate the Parker article, and that I'll send this out in an email and also post it on Blackboard that you have to look at the context, the author's arguments, strategies, and assumptions. And if you're thinking, wait, I forget how to do this, go back, review the information that we covered over the around the midterm, which I'm sure seems like a million years ago. But I want to, I'll show this really quickly. This is an instructor's annotations of the context, author's arguments, strategies, and assumptions. So I encourage you, I'm not going to post this until after Tuesday, but what I encourage you to do is go through, try and find this information so that you can kind of have an idea about what to look for so that we can kind of work on that in class on Tuesday, because the goal of the writing of the final as well as the WPA, which is the same thing, is to demonstrate that you can read these ideas and pick them out and display them really well. So reading is a huge part of it. So that's why we're going to spend one day on reading and then second day on writing for the final. Also what I recommend is that you're taking your Jigsaw article and the like Donaldson, Botter, I think those ones, and then annotate that one as well so you can get that practice writing. And you'll have to present on that. So it's not going to be graded, but it's going to be a good idea to work on that. So I'll go ahead and email that out. So today we're going to be looking at thinking about language, good academic citation practices, cohesiveness, and formatting. The thing is, you have all of this information and you've had most of it for the whole semester. You like how to write, how to use good language in your writing, how to use good academic citation practices, how to have cohesive, thorough writing, and how to use good formatting. So some people be thinking like, so why are we doing this? Like, I have this information. Why are we doing this? Why stay? Why are there some people in class who don't have to present today and there's not, I'm not taking attendance?
Learn more.
Learn more? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else? All right, so sometimes this stuff, like you can read it and it can be really uncertain how to apply it, unclear how to apply it. So also what we're going to do is we're going to look at like a source, like read it and kind of look at how you can apply it, because that is a big part of college. You are reading something and like going through it in your brain, understanding, pulling the ideas from it, and actually applying them. Also, even though you have access to this information, these mistakes still show up in student writing. So that's why I think it's important to spend some time on this and kind of go through, learn how to use those resources. So we do use we're going to be reviewing some ideas from the slides, writing paper 1 slides. But first, I want to think about what order should we examine these topics? So we have this idea of this spiraling down method of like you start big and you go small. So I've given some definitions of the different categories and what it means when I say, okay, you're graded for language. What does that mean? That means that you are using words and punctuation in a grammatically and semantically correct way. What does semantic mean? Anyone know? It means meaning. So that means that you're using the word correctly. So if I were to say, okay, I am going to, I don't know, like I'm going to eat this water, I'm not using the word eat correctly. I have to drink the water. So that's just you're using the words correctly. You have the meaning correct. So good academic citation practices doesn't just mean the formatting of academic citations, but it knows you know when to refer to a text because you have to pull from experts. You're correctly representing the ideas from credible texts, and you're giving proper credit for those ideas. So these are that's what it means when you're using. When I give you a good grade for good academic citation practices, you're doing those things. Cohesiveness. So that means like, all the parts of the essay are connected to each other and it demonstrates logical and critical thinking. Formatting, making the text look a certain way and being arranged in a certain way on the page. So like, the bold, the alignment, the indents, the centering. So what does that mean? So which do you think is like the biggest topic? Like you're looking at it like your paper on the biggest scale and you're not looking at the little tiny details. Which one is like the biggest?
Format.
Formatting's the smallest.
But you see, like when you get the paper, you see how does it look? If the
You're right.
paragraph is aligned, if the the title is like centered.
You're right. Okay, sure. We can think about it that way.
That's the first thing that I see. And
Okay.
Cohesiveness.
Okay, yeah. So let's look at cohesiveness. All right. So yeah, there's an argument for formatting depending on where your eye is at. So we've got so formatting, that's debatable, and then cohesiveness. What next? Any ideas?
Citation.
Citations. Yep. And then what's next? Language. All right, great. Thank you. You know this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pass out a handout that kind of goes over this. All right, so on the handout, there's the different definitions. So if you want to match the definitions with the definitions are A, B, C, D. If you want to match the definitions with the words up here, you may. Or if you think, you know what, I don't need that, then go ahead and dismiss that. I put formatting last because that's one of the last things to kind of think about. That means like when everything is set, when you put down your ideas, you put down the content, you make sure all the ideas go together. You make sure that you're using good academic citation practices. You corrected the grammar and spelling and all that. Then, once all that's done, go ahead, do your formatting. It doesn't mean you have to do this along the way. This is kind of what I'm suggesting, and you can just, find what works for you. If you want to put formatting first, totally good. This is how we're doing it. So, next, we've got these different, one thing I want to think about with cohesiveness is I want to look at the IMRD outline. So, I think I have a few copies of that. And I want to think about how often you can find these words. And that's going to be, shoot, I had some copies of it. Here we go. So, I'm passing, so go ahead, take one. I'm going to pass out like one for every 2 people because I don't think I have that many. So go ahead and you can work together and find like these words: hypothesis, results, question, experiment, and then go ahead and you can work together and see how many times you can find some of these words because they'll show up multiple times.